very good Friday evening to you. This is News First Primetime News coming to you live on MTV Sports and Shakti TV from our News First studios here in Colombo. I am Shahin Jurongpati.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Let's start off with a look at your headlines tonight.
Police say that 34 people are missing in the Koslanda landslide. Overwhelming public response to the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra organized for the victims. Heavy showers in most parts of the island, landslides and floods plagued many areas. The Mawara is dubbed the Chamal Rajapaksa Reservoir.
Two days after the landslide struck Koslanda, substantial and overwhelming quantum of aid has been pouring in. Now the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra carrying this much needed aid to the victims of the Koslanda landslide, as well as of course the other landslides in the Central Hills, will leave Colombo tomorrow morning. The task of packaging your contributions is taking place right now with the utmost of urgency at our premises here at the MTV MBC head office. Now, given the overwhelming response to this Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra initiative, we were compelled to cease accepting donations earlier today, given the sheer volume of donations and contributions that poured in from the point of time that we told you about this need, this requirement for those affected by the landslides. We wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to you who contributed, and also wish to say that this is clearly an expression of the indomitable spirit of our people, and also we wish to thank you for your trust reposed in us. Well, search operations to find those missing in the landslide which occurred in Koslanda continued for the third day today. 5 bodies have been pulled out of the rubble thus far. The Disaster Management Centre says it is possible that over 100 people are still missing.
A group of 500 Army and Air Force personnel are assisting with the rescue operations. Sniffer dogs were also used to find bodies in the rubble. The search teams were able to retrieve 5 bodies this morning. Due to the inclement weather conditions, search operations have proved to be challenging. Meanwhile, several towns, including the city of Colombo, have expressed their grief for those who lost their lives in the Koslanda landslide tragedy. White flags were hung in a number of areas in the Nuerelia district, while estate workers refrained from carrying out any duties. Our correspondent noted that the estate workers have donated 1 day's worth of wage to those who have been affected by the landslide. Meanwhile, a number of stores in the city of Colombo were closed this evening. Students from the Swami Vipulananda Institute, which is affiliated with the Eastern University in Batticaloa, carried out a candlelight vigil for the victims of the Koslanda landslide.
Where hope is fading on the third day of rescue operations as rescue crew are digging up 30 feet of land and muck looking for people alive. Now, authorities say the waterway that is formed on either side of the landslide could hamper relief efforts today as well.
Now, Major General Manu Pereira, who is heading the rescue operations, gave an explanation as to the current status of the rescue mission.
We have a satellite picture of the area that was subjected to the landslide. This area is all what was subject to the landslide, the most important area where the dwellings are located. There are 6 line rooms, 4 here and plus 2 on the other side. The government quarters of the estate were located in and around this place, and this ground is totally buried under the mounds of earth that washed away after the earth slide. Right now, our excavators which are going in to clear the area are at this location. So there's a huge area that has to be covered, and we expect these houses to have drifted into this ravine which is located slightly onto the west side of where the houses were, and this ravine, looking at the picture, could be assumed that it's about 30-40 feet deep. So all these houses, the debris of all these houses, along with the occupants, if they were in occupancy at that time, should be under about 30-40 feet of earth here. Right now, this is the picture of the present condition, and these two houses are intact, which is also reflectable in that aerial satellite photograph, and this entire tract is covered with the loose soil that have been moved by the landslide, and this is the exact area where we'll be concentrating on our search operation. We commenced search operation in the morning with the earth moving vehicles moving in at almost around first light, but then due to the overnight rain, the soil conditions have deteriorated. It has become very soggy, and it impedes the movement of this heavy earth moving equipment that we are using. But we do not consider that as an impediment. We are focused towards rescuing whoever who is there. We hope there will be many survivors, although chances are very remote considering the time factor and the soil conditions. It's unlikely that they would be left with any air pockets within the debris.
That was, of course, Major General Manu Pereira speaking to News First regarding the rescue operations. Now, a team of News First is at Koslanda at this moment. They managed to capture stories of untold grief and loss as an entire village was swept away by this devastating natural disaster that sent shockwaves throughout the nation. News First Stephanie Lazarus is at the location, and she filed this report.
Lives that were changed in an instant by a swift and devastating stroke. The Punagala Tamil College is now a shelter for 788 persons from 217 families who have been displaced by a catastrophe. The loss of a loved one is the common uniting factor for these people. Amid the cloud of despair, there were rays of light as some were reunited with their children. However, for 14-year-old Kajani and 12-year-old Suresh Kumar will never be able to feel their parents' love again. Their parents were leaving to the sugar factory where they worked when the mound of earth took their lives. But now, Kajani and little Suresh Kumar are forever scared as their parents lie buried under rubble and mud. Singing a lullaby to his sister Kajani, it is 12-year-old Suresh Kumar who is now the head of his family. All 176 children have lost something to this disaster. For Kajani and Suresh, however, the loss is irreplaceable.
In order to extend a helping hand of assistance to those affected by the Koslanda landslide, we at News First recommenced the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra program, which was, of course, an initiative carried out by the Capital Maharaja organization. Overwhelming amounts of aid came pouring in from the moment that we announced this decision.
The Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra program recommenced under short notice in order to assist those who were affected by the Koslanda landslide. Donations have been flooding in to the premises of the head office of the Capital Maharaja organization located down Braybrook Street, Colombo 2. In order to assist those who were affected by the landslide which occurred in Media by the Koslanda, we requested the public to donate instant noodles, clothes, bedspreads and sanitary items.
கையளிக்க முடியும். ஆகவே
You could also contribute by providing lorries to transport the collected items to those affected.
I have to thank MTV for initiating this all the time, and my first thought yesterday was, oh God, how can we help these people? And by last afternoon MTV had put this together, and I'm so thankful for this. I helped in whatever way I could.
Because I'm a mother and a wife, and I feel for these people, we are living in comfort, and although we complain about the rains, it's not good because these people are really getting hammered by the rain. So I think we should help these people when we can.
Just be trying to help out, and so we brought some clothes and stuff to give them, and I hope that whatever relief that they get will be much more welcome.
I'm thankful to Sirasa for and Shakti for all the help that they're giving these displaced papers, and I like to do something in my small way. Thank you.
Okay, I think we need to thank Sirasa TV and the Maharaja organization for having this opportunity for us to come and give all these rations to the unfortunate people in Koslanda, and we wish them all the best for a very speedy recovery.
When I see this massive response from the citizens of Sri Lanka, this proves the faith and respect they have towards Sirasa. If you give something, Sirasa will ensure they reach those who are in dire need of these goods. The response is just overwhelming. We have seen in the past 21 years the manner in which the fourth estate has taken on the responsibility of the government. When there are so many companies, when there are so many media institutions, why does the Sirasa Media Network takes the initiative? Why is the response overwhelming? This is because there is no hidden agenda. Individuals from different faiths are here and are working towards making this a success. People are aware of the strength of the Capital Maharaja organization. We have been with the people during joy and grief. Sirasa is a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja organization. There are many more companies joining this effort. Because we have in the past fulfilled our responsibilities, people are rallying around the Capital Maharaja organization. The Stein Studio Complex in Ratmalana had been receiving continuous donations since last night. Disaster does not have a race or religion. We are saddened by what has happened. This is a very good deed carried out by Sirasa. We were able to witness the manner in which donations for the Sirasa Shakti Sana Yatra had been pouring in to the Ramakrishna Hall in Vallavata today. We brought these goods in a hurry. We will bring more later.
When there is a call, we have to all unite.
Sirasa has carried out a noble deed.
Once again, we extend our heartfelt gratitude and bow our heads in respect to the people of this country who mobilized within the short time frame of 24 hours and came forward at this time of need to help their fellow countrymen.
Packaging of contributions received is taking place right now at the MTV MBC head office at Brebru Place, Colombo 2. Newsfirst Madhushka Balasurya joins us now.
Well, thank you very much, Sonali. It is absolute, I'd like to say chaos, but it's very organized over here at the MTV head office where the Sahana Yatra initially were packing. As you can see, so many dry rations, there's biscuits, there's noodles, there's everything that they could possibly need, there's clothing. Just outside here in the car park, it's absolutely filled with lorries. To my count, I can see maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lorries over here. Earlier today, I spoke to you all for the lunchtime news bulletin, and there was a mountain of noodles packets, and that mountain has grown considerably. And not only that, there's now mountains of boxes, there's mountains of crackers. It's absolutely crazy over here. I'm finding it quite difficult to move through the people, but that's what's even more insane, Sonali. There were even more people a short while ago, but there have been people working around the clock since morning. And excuse me while I try to disentangle myself from the crowds. But yes, there are people who've been here all the way throughout the morning, so they've just gone back home to take a small break and come back here again tomorrow afresh as they go to Koslanda and to the Central Hills to provide all this relief to everyone there. Now, this is just one packaging plant, one packaging area, one collection point. There were four others. That were there, and in fact those plants, those areas we stopped collecting a long time before that. Now as you can see, this is how the packing is done over here. We've got a very efficient system. We've got everyone from all parts of the organization coming here, helping out. And each pack is extremely well packed, and it's got everything that you could possibly need. On the other side, you've got dry ration, or you've got clothing and all that. But really, you can just see how much of an effort Sri Lanka has put on, and how much of an effort they've put in to give relief to those when the need is right. But for now, I'm Madhushka Balasurya reporting for Newsfirst.
Thank you very much, Madhushka Balasurya, joining us there from the MTV MBC head office collection point, where all the goods contributions are received for the Koslanda victims is being packaged. Now, the Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra convoy will leave Colombo to the affected areas tomorrow morning. Moving on, at a media briefing convened today, police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana stated that the number of missing persons in the landslide in Miriyabadda Koslanda is 34.
The landslide occurred in the Ampitigama area in Miriyabadda. This area comes under the purview of the Kotabadgama Grama Niladaru division. As of noon today, after analysing all of the data, we have ascertained that the total number of dead is 3. That is to say, we have recovered 3 bodies. More could be discovered during the course of the day. The total number of missing is 34. 10 men and 19 women are missing. 1 girl and 4 boys are also missing.
It was also revealed at this media briefing that a police investigation is underway into the landslide in Miriyabadda.
His Excellency the President has issued instructions to conduct an immediate investigation and ascertain if there was negligence on the part of any faction, and for a report to be submitted to the President. Inspector General of Police N.K. Ilangakon has informed the senior EIG in charge of the Sabaragamu and Uva provinces, Lalit Jayasinghe, to appoint a special police team under his supervision. We are hoping to conclude the investigation within a maximum of 5 days or a week, and to submit a report to His Excellency the President.
Meanwhile, the Cabinet yesterday decided to take complete responsibility over the children who lost their parents to the Koslanda landslide.
75 children have been identified so far who have lost their parents. Their relatives have made requests. The government has decided to forego all these requests and take responsibility for all the children. Our experience with the tsunami showed us that certain extended families that took charge of orphan children did not fulfill their duties by them. The government has decided to forego any aid from any person and to take full responsibility of these children. It was an emergency decision.
තීන්දුවක් කරගත්තා හදිසි තීන්දුවක් හැටියට සෝනක් ලැබිලා තියෙන අනුව තොරතුරු වලට අනුව කීදෙනෙක් අඳුරු දහනද කීදෙනෙක් දෙවි කියලා නෑ එහෙම හරියටම කියන්න බෑ තාම ඒකයි වැඩේ ඒකයි දැනට තියෙන විදිහට මේ තියෙන මේ වාර්තාවන් අනුව 330 people of 57 families affected, around 330 people suspected missing. But just a minute, October 24th and around 7:30, the impact of the landslide affected 357 million European impact the key of the Kildia. Make a Venasela and time Udega take a harvest of Venasela, the numbers. Kalmana can kill the Tunsiati, or Kalabana can tell again at Tunsiati. Mema Gajavata Vatunu was Pelian, and you are two Paul Panasatakari, Kalian Tunsitia, we put the path together.
Leader of the Democratic Party, Sarath Fonseca, expressed his condolences to the victims of the Khoslanda landslide.
We express our condolences to the victims of this tragedy. We also express our deepest sympathies to the families of those who lost their lives. We are being made to face such tragedies in this country as a result of the rulers of this nation failing to think about the people, act with compassion towards the people and take the necessary steps. That is why these innocent people had to undergo such a tragedy. Some politicians attempt to take political mileage from this tragedy. We see it as a low act. We urge the citizens of Sri Lanka to do whatever they can to assist those who are in dire need of your assistance.
Meanwhile, heavy showers continue to be reported from several parts of the island, triggering floods as well as landslides.
168 persons were evacuated from a row of line houses in the Alamula area in Hanguranketha due to the risk of landslides last night. Our correspondent noted that crack lines began appearing on the houses which were situated on a higher elevation. Damages were reported to several homes in the area. The evacuees are currently being sheltered at the Alamula Tamil College. Rockslides were experienced in the Mudunupita area along the Hanguranketha Adhikarigama road. Meanwhile, 5 families from Delgahapite in Hanguranketha were relocated to a safe location owing to the risk of rockslides. 102 people from 25 families in Kaluana North and South, which fall under the purview of the Pujapitiya Divisional Secretariat, have sought refuge in the Mullegama Vidyalaya. The Pujapitiya Divisional Secretary Manjula Madugahapolu noted that they have provided relief to the affected. Furthermore, 300 persons from the Rangala estate, which falls under the Madadumbara Divisional Secretariat in Kandy, were relocated to safer grounds. 2 houses were damaged when an earth embankment fell atop a wall in Suduhumpula, Kandy.
Meanwhile, the spill gates of several reservoirs in the Central Hills were opened as a result of the heavy showers being experienced.
A spill gate of the Upper Kotmale Reservoir remained open as of this evening. The spill gates of the Castlereagh Reservoir have also been opened. Heavy showers also prompted the opening of the spill gates of the Vimala Surendra Reservoir. Meanwhile, 2 persons lost their lives when an earth embankment collapsed in the Raiwatta area in Olugantota, Balangoda. According to the police, the incident occurred when they were digging to construct a foundation in the area. Meanwhile, the crossway area, which is located along the Puttalam Manampitiya road via Eluankulama, was inundated. A tree fell atop 3 houses located in close proximity to the Kalanithissa power plant in Grand Pass, Colombo. Water levels of the Kalani River have seen an increase owing to the inclement weather situation. The Department of Irrigation noted that area residents residing on either side of the river must remain vigilant. An earth embankment collapsed on a house in Nugagahapura, Kirulapuna. Our reporter says houses located above the earth embankment are at risk following the collapse. Politicians arrived at the location to inspect the situation. This problem has been prevalent in Nugagahapura for some time. A contract had been awarded to rectify this problem, but work stopped midway. I think the government and disaster management authorities must intervene immediately. If it continues to rain, the homes here could also collapse. For now it is only the embankment, but the homes too are at risk. The Orutota area located along the Orutara road in Gampa was inundated owing to the Urwa loya overflowing. Madawatta, Ihalogoda, Mottunna, Valekotua and several other areas in Veyangoda were inundated as a result of the Dia Al Oya breaking its banks. Spill gates of the Dadru Oya have been opened by 4.5 feet. Irrigation engineers stated that around 7,500 cubic feet of water is being released per second.
And with that, we go in for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
BJP on Tuesday appointed its Maharashtra unit chief Devendra Fadnavis as the chief minister of the Maharashtra province. The swearing-in ceremony took place at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai today.
MPJ Sriranga, the General Secretary of the Citizens Front, was the only Asian parliamentarian who was invited to grace the occasion.
The swearing-in ceremony, which was held with much pomp and ceremony, saw the participation of a number of VIPs, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. 10 of the 25 cabinet ministers in India were also in attendance at the swearing-in of the new Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The General Secretary of the Citizens Front, MP J. Sriranga, was also present at the occasion as the only Asian parliamentarian in attendance. More than 2,500 security personnel were deployed in and around the iconic and sprawling cricket ground in South Mumbai. MP Sriranga also met with Fadnavis in private prior to the swearing-in ceremony. MP Sriranga visited Fadnavis in his dressing room shortly before he attended the swearing-in ceremony. J. Sriranga and the new Chief Minister of Maharashtra State, Devendra Fadnavis, have been close friends since 2009 when the pair participated at the 18th New Generation Seminar organised by the East-West Centre. After successfully leading his party to its largest ever victory in the state of Maharashtra in the recently concluded assembly polls, Fadnavis, who is considered to be a confidant of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, emerged as the consensus choice. At 44 years of age, Devendra Fadnavis is the youngest councillor in Maharashtra and is also the first post-independence BJP Chief Minister of the state. He is the youngest of India's 28 Chief Ministers and the second youngest to hold the office in India's post-independence history. Devendra's political career started in the early 90s when he joined the BJP as a ward president of its youth wing. He became the youngest corporator of the Nagpur Municipal Corporation at the age of 21 and the second youngest elected mayor in 1997. He was elected to the Maharashtra Assembly for the first time in 1999. He won for a fourth time this year. He has bagged several national and international honours, including the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association's Best Parliamentarian Award in 2002-2003. The state of Maharashtra is of special prominence in Indian politics as it is the state that earns the largest revenue and is home to the commercial capital Mumbai.
Moving on to local news, here are some of the views expressed by UNP parliamentarian Sujiva Senasinghe in Parliament yesterday.
We are building the Trincomalee jetty, for which the initial cost was 4 billion. Now that sum has increased to 14 billion. There are no tenders. The hum on the report was 252 billion. The Southern Expressway was 28 billion. The Morugahakanda Reservoir was 35 billion. The Norachole Thermal Power Plant was 135 billion. The Sapugaskanda Oil Refinery was 285 billion. The Karnanak Highway was 55 billion. The Trincomalee Ring Road was 35 billion. The Mattala Airport was 38 billion. And there were no tenders for any of this because this has become the business of a small group. The amount of debt that is being paid off is not included in this budget. But the amount of debt affects the country's development. Look at the income that is generated from this. Look at the amount that is being paid. Honourable Minister, all of these projects, which cost 3,500 billion in total, have only generated 350 jobs. Honourable Chair, when these projects are initiated without tenders being called for, it is not done for the benefit of the nation but for their personal benefit. Their eyes always turn towards the project that they can get the biggest cut from.
The Mawara Reservoir was renamed the Chamal Rajapaksa Reservoir today. The event was held today under the auspices of Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa.
The Chamal Rajapaksa Reservoir, constructed at a cost of 600 million rupees using local irrigation engineering technology, first released water in 2001. The reservoir provides water for 7,000 agrarian families. I think that following the Chandrika, however, this is the first reservoir to be built locally by our irrigation department. It has not been done after this either. After this, foreign knowledge was used and loans were obtained. But this was built using local technology and local engineers. At this moment, we express our gratitude to them. This is not my secret. Because our elders and our parents were good politicians and stood with the people are now returning the favour.
මේක අපි යමක් අපි ඒ ගිනුමට බැර කරේ නැත්නම් ගිනුම හමාර වෙනවා. දැන් අපිත් මම හිතන්නේ බැර කරනවා හිතන්නේ.
Let's now take a look at Action TV.
At a media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka Council of Archaeologists on Monday to respond to an Action TV expose on the Central Cultural Fund, it was stated that it is beyond belief that irregularities could have occurred at the CCF, the Director General of which also happens to be the President of the Sri Lanka Council of Archaeologists. It was difficult for us to figure out what was happening when news of this sort was being published about an individual that we know very well. We too are specialists and we ask that the due respect be given. There's a system that we work within that is unique to us. Although it is not debatable that these archaeologists should be given the due respect as qualified experts in their respective field, such matters of due respect should not be an obstacle when inquiring into their functions when they are involved in offices that are maintained with public funds. This is because they too are bound by the common administrative rules and regulations and ethics in the country. The president of the Sri Lanka Council of Archaeologists, whom the council say they are very well acquainted with, was appointed the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund by the Cabinet of Ministers on the 3rd of October 2012. He was appointed to that position on an acting basis until such a time as a suitable official is appointed on a permanent basis. As per the Establishment Code, an individual holding high office in any public institution cannot hold a lower office in the institution in an acting capacity. However, the current Director General of the CCF functions in a lower position in the CCF and also receives an additional allowance as the acting director of the CCF's Northwestern project. On the 1st of June 2013, this official made a capricious recruitment. The relevant appointment letter was issued with the blanket approval of the Board of Governors of the CCF to recruit a legal officer on a one-year contract. 6 months and 22 days later, when the Board of Governors of the CCF convened, it was affirmed that the individual appointed as legal officer neither had the qualification nor the experience to function in that position. The interim provision made by the Board of Governors of the CCF to appoint a suitable replacement is quite farcical. The provision was that the individual in question should be allowed to continue to function as the legal officer of the CCF until the completion of a year in office or until a suitable replacement is appointed. The Director General of the CCF has opted for the first of these choices, which is to allow the unqualified person to hold the position of legal officer for a period of 1 year. The Director General's interest in the unqualified officer is made evident by this document, which he subsequently submitted to the Secretary of the subject ministry, who also happens to be the CEO of the CCF. Through this document, the Director General seeks the approval of the Ministry Secretary to recruit the questionable legal officer on a 2-year contract. As a result of the Ministry Secretary not signing the document, it did not come before the Board of Governors. Notwithstanding the lack of approval from the Ministry Secretary and sidestepping the obstacle of obtaining the approval of the Board of Governors, which comprises of 3 ministers including the Prime Minister, the Director General has capriciously extended the contract of the legal officer by a further 2 years. Although this may well be the modus operandi of archaeologists, doesn't this chain of events make it evident that corruption and whimsy are reigning supreme at a public institution established to conserve and showcase the millennia of history of this country? Secretary to the Ministry of Culture and Arts, this is over to you.
In business news, fuel prices are to be standardized across the island tomorrow. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says that fuel prices across the island varied thus far as a result of transportation costs. Chairman of CPETCO S. Amarasekara noted that as a result of the government's decision to scrap the transport charge, the prices of all types of fuel across the island would be the same as the prices in Colombo. The CPC has also decided to reduce the price of tar effective tomorrow. And that's a wrap of Primetime News. Thank you very much for watching. For the News First team, I am Shahin Jurampati.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.